in your discussion, in your answer, you also said that you were invited by a friend, Barry Weiss.
My friend Barry Weiss.
So this friend works for Twitter, or what is her?
She's a journalist.
Sir, I didn't ask you a question. I'm now asking Mr. Schellenberger a question. Please
Yes, ma'am. Barry Weiss is a journalist.
I'm sorry, sir?
She's a journalist.
She's a journalist. So you work in concert with her?
Yeah.
Do you know when she first was contacted by Mr. Musk?
I don't know.
You don't know. So you're in this as a threesome?
There was many more people involved in that.
There was many more people involved in it.
I like the way he casually delivers that line at the end, though. There were way more people than that.
Yeah. Let's not narrow this down to just a threesome. That felt like a fitting intro, considering before the show, Dag was talking about his rape butter in his mouth.
Yeah.
I like Schellenberger, but calling Barry Weiss a journalist, that's kind of a stretch.
It's like calling Tim Pool a journalist.
I've never watched.
He was not anymore. You know, his like when he in his Vice days, I would say he actually was.
I remember when like a lot of people in kind of like our circles really started talking about Tim Pool all the time, like around. Well, yes. I don't know. Maybe that's when I started paying attention, but was when around like the COVID stuff, and I like attempted to watch a couple episodes, and I was just like, it's not really my cup of tea. I'm glad other people enjoy it, but I'm gonna not do this.
There was also
I watched him for a while.
He started
it was
selling
okay.
food buckets and fear mongering.
So he's trying to channel his Glenn back there.
But everybody's Glenn Beck eventually.
Yeah. Well, how's it going this morning, guys? What's happening?
Well, I'm hoping that it will not rain so that I can put the turkey outside and mow the yard.
It's raining
Oh,
pretty well here.
You got a turkey?
This is so 3 of the 4 have died. I don't know why, for no fucking reason.
Wait, little poults?
Huh?
Are they little poults like the babies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've managed to keep this one alive for about a week after, 3 of the other 3 keeled over. So anyway, I'm being very protective of him. I don't want to like put him outside and have it rain, and then he's stand outside in the rain with his head up and drown himself or some dumb shit. So I'm gonna keep him in the house. Hopefully it doesn't rain. I really need to mow the yard, and like today is the only day I'm gonna be able to do it. If I don't get it done today, then the rest of the week I'm busy. So
isn't it so funny how like wild turkeys are like some of the smartest animals, but domesticated turkeys are like borderline, if not retarded?
Oh, that's the show. Yeah, like it's crazy because like they just, I don't know. This is what like when sometimes about animals being like smart or dumb. So I always get like weird about it because I'm like, like people are like, oh, chickens are dumb, and I'm like, but they're really good at being chickens. Like they do the things they do well, and it's like turkeys. It's like, yeah, man, like they're dumb, but it's like you said, dude, like the turkeys out in the fucking wild, like they survive, they reproduce on their own, and I'm always amazed just that like prey with how hard it can be to protect your livestock from like predators. It amazes me that there's any wild prey that makes it to breeding age and breeds and then makes it through like babyhood, to be an adult, like without getting eaten by something. It's just it's mind-blowing. Yeah, I see a flock of turkeys, I'm like, holy shit, they're making it. Go, guys.
speaking of that, I saw a video yesterday, I think it was, of a snake had a little baby squirrel like wrapped up.
The mama squirrel.
And the mama squirrel is just like going ballistic on it, like biting its head and grabbing a hold of it like mid-body and just biting the shit out of it until finally, and by the end of it, it looks like the snake is dead. Like it's just like not moving. And mama squirrel like picks up the baby and takes off up the tree. It's like, nature.
Yeah. It also like when you have like a chicken like hatches baby chicks, it's like she starts off with half a dozen, and you're lucky if you get, she ends up with one. by the end. A neighborhood I used to live in had wild chickens, so to speak. And sitting out on the porch one night watching the chickens out there in the street doing their thing, and mama and some babies. We're like, oh, isn't that so sweet? And then just out of nowhere, an owl, whoom, swoops down, snags one of the babies, takes off with it, and the mama hen runs after the owl for like 12 feet, realizes, oh, that baby's a lost cause, and turns around and goes back and counts her other ones, and it's like, oh shit, just like out of nowhere, as you're like, oh, it's so adorable. But you're like, well, I like owls too. I think owls are pretty cool. I guess I don't know. They're all just doing
need a
their
snack.
thing.
Yeah.
Nature is so cruel sometimes. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, but like humans, people they'll sit there and they'll be like, oh yeah, like, oh, but all you have to do, like, if there's a predator, you just have to tell them off, like human.
Put up a sign, no prowling.
Yeah. No prowling. And then all of a sudden, you have a prowler. It's like, what do you do? Like, oh, well, you kind of have to do something about that.
I was like, speaking of chickens and being stupid, and this is the title of the show
video
based around this.
First blood, double kill, triple kill, killing spree. Killing spree! You have slain an enemy!
Are you guys filming my mother-in-law?
Is this how she kills the chickens?
Last night.
Oh my gosh!
Normally I would think chickens win, but this woman kind of won. Like,
she's putting way too much effort into it. Like, grab the thing by the neck and just give it a quick snap.
Yeah,
Done.
It's almost like she wasn't trying.
Yeah,
to
but that's
kill
got to be more fun though. To do it that way,
just like ritual combat with the chicken.
Pick it up, spin it around, and throw it across the room. Hit it with a shovel.
At least it keeps the Asian women off the road if they're doing that, right?
This almost fits in with the white women will do anything to avoid lifting weights exercise thing, but it's not a white woman, so I don't know where this leaves me. But like, oh my god,
Asians are the new whites, right?
She's just practicing.
I've seen a couple of articles with that on there, basically.
She's just practicing karate skills. Got to put them to use somehow.
Yeah, I get the gist. She wasn't trying to kill it. She was just trying to stop it from it. Because like she had it by the neck. At that point, it's just a quick up and down snap motion, and you're done. Or you do what they call the English twist, which is a real thing where you snap the. It's not snapping the neck. You actually snap the jugular by twisting it, and then it bleeds out on the inside. And it's supposed to be pretty.
You spin them like a terrible towel.
Yeah.
Dag, I don't know what your experience with them is, but the Rhode Island Reds seem to have a sturdier neck than some of the other breeds that I've had.
You got those Brock Lesnar necks.
A little harder to get a good snap on.
I've never snapped the chicken neck. I've never done any of those methods. I've always cut them. I hit the one with a machete one time when I was putting it down, but
they had when I was in high school, the ag class dissected a chicken, and so like they have a live chicken. You go out and you snap its neck, and then they're gonna dissect it, and I grabbed the thing to snap its neck, and it was just like a regular little, white yard chicken. And I go to snap its neck, and the whole fucking head came off, and the body went flying. Snaps its wings and takes off running around in circles with no head. I'm like, just leave it; it'll fall. Done.
He'll tire himself out.
Yeah, everybody and the ag teacher was not a very masculine fellow. We made fun of our ag class. We called the FFA the Future Flower Arrangers because all he did was he only did greenhouse type stuff. He really didn't do any none of the actual farm kids took ag because the stuff that we wanted to do, like work on tractors and do shit like that. He didn't do any of that stuff. Like he ran the greenhouse, and they didn't even grow fun shit in the greenhouse. They just grew flowers. So none of the farm kids had anything to do with it. But me and a buddy of mine got asked to come do the dissection of the chicken. I don't know why they thought that we were expert chicken dissectors or something. But
look,
So it's
you
like
get the
Dumb and
family
Dumber.
farm.
It's like Dumb and Dumber. He's like, we got no food, we got no job, our pets' heads are falling off.
I had a buddy come over to help process chickens one time, and he cuts meat, but he never deals with them, alive or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I want to come do chickens. And he asked if he could do the, slitting the neck, do the killing part, switch up for evisceration. I'm like, yeah, man, go for it. He's like, how much pressure, do I use with the knife? And I'm like, I don't know, enough to cut the jugular, but not enough to, slice through your hand on the other side. And he's like, all right. And yeah, he goes to do it. And he goes, oh, shit. I'm like, what? He's like, I think I used too much pressure. And he's holding the head in one hand and the knife in the other. And I was like, yeah, that's a little too much. But the whole rest of the day processing, it was nothing but a stream of Dumb and Dumber quotes. Our chickens' heads are falling off. Such a good movie. Like, I know it's called Dumb and Dumber and it's a dumb comedy, but really, from like a formulaic like movie standpoint, it's such a good movie, dude. It's got everything.
Back when they could actually make a comedy and it didn't suck.
That was the Fairley Brothers.
I know, dude. Comedies are just not. They're just in such a weird. I actually saw like a new like goofy stoner comedy from like 2023, and I'm like, oh, that's got to be so bad. Like, can you even make stoner comedy movies anymore since pot's like legal and like such like a common thing? I don't know.
I mean, like, if you put them in, you got to put them in a state that doesn't like it, like if you put it in like my state, that that would probably be, but even then, like, I mean, some like hemp's legal, so I don't know.
Well, like in Harold and Kumar, where they get dumped off in like it might have been Alabama, wherever it was, in the second Harold and Kumar, and they're at like George Bush's farm or something. Like he's fucking burning. And the other farmer they found, they're burning too. Like, yeah, you ever tried farming not high? Boring as shit.
That's John Reap, the hey, that thing got a Hemi guy.
I've never seen either of those movies.
Dude, they are both I don't know if I've seen the Christmas one or whatever, but the first two are actually very fucking good.
The Christmas one was okay.
Stupid.
That one didn't have a good Christopher Maloney cameo.
Yeah, the Christmas. I think the Christmas one went a little too stupid. Like Harold and Kumar was fun, stupid, and then Harold and Kumar 2 go to Guantanamo Bay or whatever. That was extra stupid, but it was still the right amount of funny. With
shockingly good for a sequel of that nature. Yeah,
right. Yeah. But I think the Christmas special, they like jumped the shark a little bit.
The Chris Maloney cameos were always funny.
Christian.
He was the tow truck driver in the first one with all the boils.
Oh, Freak Show! I fucking love Freak Show.
And then in the second one, he was the Grand Wizard of the KKK. He was the one who was like, "All right, y'all all gather around the fire. Let's share some stories about how we hated on some minorities this week."
We need that for an opener for the show.
Yeah, the first one got Neil Patrick Harris, being a total coos hound, which is always just hilarious. Because he's a homo.
Check out what I found in the garage when I was cleaning it out. It's very nice.
It's cute. I like it.
Yeah, we got one of those.
I'm gonna clean this thing up and sharpen it up real good.
It's good.
Like it was just like beef. It was just like buried in a bunch of shit on one of the like workbenches. I don't know what Stephanie's granddad was doing out there, but
I just thought that's where she was putting your silverware now.
The more I think about it, the more I don't want to know what he was doing out there. Because there's also like, there's a knife that's like welded onto. It's like a regular like a steak knife blade, but it's welded onto like a stick that's attached to like a metal rod that's attached to like a handle, like
making it into Ginta.
I'm like, what the fuck was your granddad doing out here? Like, this thing is like 2 foot long, just a fucking steak knife on the end of a pole, huh? He gotta like stab people from far away.
That's his cattle brand, his makeshift cattle brand. Okay,
like he ain't doing that close. He ain't doing that close combat shit. He's gonna get you from far out. Like, you're not even getting close.
Look, nothing beats redneck engineering. Okay, like nothing beats it.
He's got a nice like billy club out there too. I really have some concerns. That everybody told us about it at his funeral. He killed a guy one time. Like, the guy was talking shit and he just punched him in the head and the dude fell out dead. And then they like somebody was like a doctor or something that came over and like resuscitated him, and so he didn't stay dead, but he killed somebody there for a hot minute. Holy shit.
I had somebody I went to high school with. Their dad got like some stupid altercation at a bar or something. He got like punched in the back of the head while he was playing darts and like died. Like, like one punch, one of those like. I know that's not really what happened to Houdini, but that's like the story. One of those kind of.
I was waiting for a
things.
dart to go into somebody's eye or something.
Oh, good.
I thought that's where you're gonna go with that story.
They switched to plastic darts after that incident.
The plastic darts just don't fly right.
Yeah, that's always my excuse when I lose at a bar too. I'm just metal darts.
The metal ones, they just work better. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's true. It's like the plastic dart boards are all wonky, and if
you guys remember jarts? Remember the lawn darts?
You're really aging yourself.
Oh yeah, dude, those were great, man. Until one came and went right through your toe.
Yeah, those have been like banned as long as I've been alive. But I have seen a set before when I was young. I remember.
Hey, it's just like bike helmets. It cut out the stupid people, man. Like no bike helmets and jarts like took out a good portion of the population.
Well, it is the thing. It does just seem like it's just like common sense. Like with horseshoes, when you play, you step away from. Like I don't want to get by a fucking horseshoe either.
Like idiots standing in front of the like pike in the ground.
Yeah, it's just all it is natural selection. We stopped natural selection from working, and now we're stuck with all these retards.
Well, I mean, in fairness, you could probably just fashion your own set of lawn darts. We got 3D printers now.
Yeah, we could.
God, I remember one time we were all playing with a blowgun, little blow darts. And it's a bunch of us like 10-year-olds, and we're being good and safe with it until like by the end of the day, it's shooting it straight up in the air and then running really fast, so it doesn't hit you on the way back down.
We used to do that with I still have it, my dad's bow, and we used to just shoot arrows up in the air and run and.
What's that skit? Which movie is it? Which movie is it that they do that? Grown-ups, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Just like that. But we didn't have an end on the dart. Like it was a blunt end. So. Oh,
okay. So you feel good when it hits you. Yeah, y'all weren't playing ballsy.
Said it still doesn't feel good when it hits you.
No.
We used to have BB gun fights.
Oh yeah, we used to do BB gun fights too.
Man, like
when I grew up in Detroit, man, our BB gun fights got a little nasty once in a while.
We did it out in the country, so we had a combination of like the BB pistols and the BB like rifle style, and we'd split up and like we'd use different barns and then like hunt each other down, and like if there was like a hole in the barn, you'd watch for somebody to walk by and then just shoot them in the leg through the hole and listen to them squeal.
I honestly don't get the whole like airsoft thing. I just don't understand.
They are badass. That's what it is.
Yeah, pretty badass guns.
Yeah, they shoot fast. Like they're almost
for the money. Like you could spend $400 to $500 on them. Like they're insanely expensive. Like why would I just buy a real gun?
Like, I don't know. Well, I mean, it's just for the fun factor and like for kids who can't get into guns. So,
yeah, or it's like
dude, I've been taking my kids to the gun range since they were like 8. Like
when we were living in Jersey, the kids had like Nerf guns and all kinds of shit, and we had a neighbor in the apartment complex that we were in that I had a couple kids about the same age as mine. Invited them over and like start getting out the Nerf guns and stuff. The mom's like, "Oh no, we have to leave. We don't do guns in our house." I'm like, "All right, well, get the fuck out then. I don't know what to tell you." Like, these are the like child friendly ones. Don't go like looking around in closets and shit. You'll find all the rest of my guns because I don't give a fuck what the Jersey gun laws are. This is fucking Jersey. You're like, fuck you, motherfuckers.
So, speaking of airsoft guns, there was like when I was in basketball, in high school, they like we had a like lock-in or whatever night or whatever before our first day of practice. So like the first official day of practice, like that night we would stay up, like till midnight and practice, do a practice then or whatever. And then after that, we'd sleep and then wake up in the morning there and have breakfast. Well, during the night, somebody had snuck in their airsoft rifle and just like started lighting people up, like in the, like people, like everybody laid down for laid down and go to sleep. Everybody's napping either on the couches or they got sleeping bags and stuff on the floor, and he just goes around starts lighting people up, and like I hear it going off, and I'm like, oh, hell, I had to run it. I ran and like hid, I was like, I'm not gonna get lit up, but everybody else got.
We did like a men's weekend, and they had these. They were like Reball, which is no, it wasn't, but
I know, I'm just kidding.
We did like it's called Reball. It's paintball, but not. It doesn't explode. It's just the paintball. By itself.
Oh, yeah, you ever froze them? You ever froze paintballs?
No, I used to do paintball all the time, but
frozen paintballs hurt. Okay, let me tell you.
They do. Paintballs hurt.
Yeah.
I used to
hurt.
Yeah, I used to go paintballing quite a bit, and then I always kept like a bag full of paintballs, and I had a really nice slingshot, and so I just like put some paintballs in a baggie or something in my backpack and carry my slingshot, and if I saw like one of my fraternity brothers, just light his ass up. Because if you're walking around a college campus with even with a paintball gun, people give you kind of dirty looks. But if you just like,
especially if it's Kent State,
if you just like slip a slingshot out of your backpack and fire off a paintball and then throw it back in, nobody's any the wiser. The only person who knows what happened is
the person that got hit,
got shot in the back. He's like, oh fuck, motherfucker.
You remember that Beastie Boys song "Eggman," where they're talking about like egging everybody?
The Beatles song.
Speaking of,
I'm the Walrus.
Campus. So like, I graduated from Murray. A few years after I graduated, there was like this big thing that ran in the news, like emergency alert. Came across
you were gone.
Facebook and everything else. There was a active shooter on campus, and it was deer season, and it was a kid that had gone deer hunting that morning. Came back to the dorms. It was kind of misty rain. So he's in full camo, walks into the dorm, and then like 45 minutes later comes back out of the dorm with the gun and puts it back in his truck. He took his gun in to clean it and oil it and everything after he'd gone hunting in the rain that morning. It's like, oh my God, active shooter. It's like, this is a college campus in BFE, Kentucky. Like, if there's not at least a dozen dudes with a gun in their truck, something's fucking wrong. Like, every single one of my fraternity brothers had a rifle in our truck. Like,
I mean, they should have known.
Right? See, this is what happens when a bunch of fucking dumbass city folks come to a campus in the middle of the fucking nowhere. Oh man, the best was when we had basketball practice during hunting season, and we had a Saturday morning practice, and I was going fucking hunting, so I got one, and I was like in a hurry, so I had to dress it out and clean it and everything, and I got it all packed away into a cooler, and I just cut the antlers off of it. It was a little gnarly, mangled rack. I was just trying to cull him out. And so I cut the antlers off of it and threw them in the back of the truck. And then I'm like busting ass flying back to campus to get there in time for basketball practice. And I show up to practice and like I walk into the gym and I'm in fucking blood covered camos. And all these city girls on the team were like, oh my God, Justin, why are you covered in blood? I was like, I got a deer. You want to come see it? And they're like, what? I was like, come out to the truck. So we go out in the parking lot and I pull the rack out of the back of the truck and open up the cooler and start like pulling out whole fucking legs and shit. And they're like, oh my God, no.
Show them the heart. Like,
traumatize those poor girls. They were not prepared for country folk life.
What else is going on in the world?
Literally nothing. I don't know. There's some shit about.
Didn't a tornado go through somewhere recently?
Oklahoma. Yeah, it was a pretty bad one through Oklahoma.
Where the waving wheat smells so sweet.
I mean, it's Oklahoma. It's like Tornado Alley.
Thanks, Dag. I appreciate that.
I only know that one line just from the movie Ready to Rumble. When they're taking like wrestler auditions, and he's like, "Oh, this isn't the tryouts for Oklahoma."
Well,
what are you cutting there, Justin?
I'm trying to get the fucked up edges off of this blade.
Sharpening.
Well, it's got some little.
You were trying to cut your desk just for fun or something.
Just chop. Like, no.
This desk costs $1,600. I'm not cutting this fucking thing.
So Trey, like before the show, we started talking about something. I was trying to explain to you about the rape butter conversation that we had the other day. And I feel like I have to address this. And Justin said I had a mouthful of rape butter on air.
Wait, when was this? Was this on Friday?
No.
Oh, this is just when the show started before you got here.
Okay.
So basically I was eating some peanut butter, all right, and reading the ingredients because I do that. And it's like Publix brand peanut butter, and it says for the oil that's in it, a combination of oils, one of which is rapeseed oil. And I had commented because I haven't seen them put rapeseed oil as like an ingredient on food like here. And Clyde had commented on it.
Oh yeah, that was in the chat.
They call it canola. Canola oil is rapeseed oil, basically.
Yeah.
And Justin had said that he thought there were two different things, and so we looked it up, and it's kind of, I almost feel like it's kind of like a hemp versus marijuana kind of thing, where it's like they're the same thing, but there's like different grades. And so I guess it's rapeseed is the plant, or rape is the plant, and they use the seed, and that's like a canola oil. They grow it in Canada, but Canada didn't want to call it rapeseed oil as one of their main exports.
I wonder why.
We're a leading exporter in rape, like it's just a ring. So they called it canola oil, which is Canada oil, like combined canola.
Canola oil.
So just so everyone knows, canola oil.
So that's why it says canola oil everywhere instead of rapeseed oil.
Right. I think it's a marketing thing. But what we were reading is they're like, okay, rapeseed oil is like it has to be a certain grade, like it has to be a higher quality of oil to call it canola oil. Otherwise, it's like a mechanical lubricant. So then I'm like, why the fuck is my peanut butter putting rapeseed oil and not canola oil? Like, I'm not wild about canola oil, but I want the canola oil if I have the choice. If that's the standard, I just need to go back there and get the healthy
you're getting the lesser. You're getting the lesser kind, so that's why it's raping your mouth, now.
Exactly, it's raping my metabolic system or whatever seed oils do to you, turn you into a woman.
Yeah, seed oils
If you're considering growing your own, I highly recommend don't fucking do that. That stuff is terrible. We handled it. We handled it at a couple facilities in Kentucky that I was project manager for, and like part of project management was like the maintenance and upkeep and shit. And they ran that stuff for like a year. Like had a certain set of bins that they kept it in. That stuff is fucking brutal on equipment. Like it just wore all the lining out of the spouts. Like it's because it's so small. It's just like super friction. Just
through the
like
gaps and
it's like sandblasting everything. Like
and what I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that it was what they used for the guns in World War II to grease the guns. Like, is that? I don't know if that's true. Like, that's what they would use.
Yeah, that and cottonseed oil is like a mechanical lubricant. I think 3-in-1 oil is basically like seed oils. Some of like the grosser ones. Sparkling seed oil.
Well, the thing I don't understand, like, why would we get our peanut butter is fresh peanut butter. It's literally just peanuts. Like,
because my wife did the shopping about peanut butter.
Oh, okay.
That's why. Yeah.
Don't let her go shopping then.
She had healthy peanut butter.
We don't have Whole Foods out here in the country, Steve.
No, it's not even Whole Foods. They go to the health food store and they just have the grinder right there, and they just do the whole. They just grind the peanuts and throw it into something else.
I'll have to check at my local Save-A-Lot if they have a peanut grindery in there.
It's so much better. Like, it's literally just peanuts. There's no sugar in it.
I'm not knocking it. I'd buy it.
You still have Save-A-Lots down there, Dag?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
what about Giant
food down here?
Yeah, I don't want to drive 30 minutes to a grocery store. That's where I shop. Yeah.
Do you need a specific kind of grinder for that, or will my coffee grinder work, or what?
I'm not really a coffee. I mean, that would make your coffee
fun.
taste like hell. I wouldn't do that. You could use a food processor.
I got a meat grinder. I wonder how that would do.
Be a little chunky.
Now I just want to get a bag of peanuts and start running them through every different fucking grinder I've got around here. I got a hand grinder back there. I got a meat grinder.
A hand grinder probably would work.
Man,
it would take a lot. It takes a while to do that too.
Oh, I'm gonna start doing videos.
Tater torpedoes. Yeah.
I'm abandoning the fact check this podcast thing. I'm changing my YouTube channel to just
grinding peanut butter.
I'm gonna like cashews,
grinding.
Peanuts,
Here's
whatever it is. I'm just gonna throw it in all the different
cashew butter is really good.
I found you the new. This is gonna be your new grift. Okay, all you have to do you're gonna make just print money. Okay, you call it grinding ASMR, and then people are gonna be looking for other things, and then they're going to find you actually grinding stuff. You know, in like the ASMR.
Just call it grinder. You'll get an interesting group of
grinding
people.
ASMR because that way it's YouTube friendly enough, and then when they go looking for grinding, you know, whatever else, and then they see him just actually grinding stuff up.
Justin explores grinder.
You probably get a bigger audience.
You know. And then every once in a while I'll work in some political anti.
There you go. You
and
bring them in with the grinding, and then
talk about the Nazis and
convert them with Nazis. Yeah, there you go.
Justin grinds nuts.
And then all of a sudden you say like, you have like anti-gay propaganda. Basically, you're just like, yep. You know, this is what should happen. This is what happens whenever you know you're gay. You know, like here's another gay one. Just like act like the peanuts are
just nonstop gay jokes. Like,
yeah.
Like the whole time I'm grinding shit, I'm just making gay jokes. Sounds like fun. And I've been getting bored with politics anyway.
That's a new show idea.
Time to change it up.
Just don't be number one on YouTube.
If I'm ever number one on YouTube for anything, there's a problem.
No, don't even do it on YouTube. Just do it on TikTok. You get a bigger audience.
Oh, Jason's. You know what grind my gears? That's next big number. It's gay. That's great.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh. There we go.
I'm gonna have to get the wet rocket.
So Dag, let's go back to your story because we got sidetracked. What are we talking about? Something
about what, the canola?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I guess that was about it. That's what canola is. I try to not eat it.
Yeah.
As much as possible, but it's like, I don't know, dude. I feel like anytime I eat out anywhere, it's just what everything's got to be cooked in.
Well, I mean, like it's you know, it's so common, and I get one of like the seed oil guys, you know, like they're so like anti anything or whatever. I understand it, but like there's I don't think it's necessarily just the seed oils. If it was just the seed oils, then you know a lot of people could just get away with that. But I mean, it seems like it's more than just seed oils that are causing people. Like it's the entire agricultural, like the big ag, at least in that industry, and the way that they're processing food. Like,
the general
not
thing
local
be,
farmers and stuff.
Cut out because I think a lot of it is like with any. It's like, okay, I don't think eating corn's bad, but if 80% of your diet is corn, that's probably a problem, you know. So I think that it's just everything. And I mean, it is if you look up. I mean, any fucking item on the grocery store that's like a liquid, especially, look up the ingredients, and the first fucking ingredient is soybean oil or canola oil. Yep. Every fucking mayonnaise, every fucking salad dressing. I mean, anything that is not a solid object is like made out of canola oil. It's crazy. So it's just like, I mean, it's just over the course of a day, you could just be eating so much of that shit. Is it?
I mean, you just
that bad
just
for you? Who knows?
It's like, oh, like even some of the butters like have to like they have some of those kind of oils mixed in, right? Like
no things that are spreadable. Spreads have oils like that mixed in, or 60%. Yeah. So like,
well, actually, if you there's
when I was a kid,
there's certain
But I mean, yeah,
butters,
butter
like you can
doesn't.
get. Yeah, but there are butters that will mix it in, so you have to be really careful when you get. Like I get all my butter from a local farmer.
Hell yeah, yeah, that's definitely the way to go.
We've really switched up a lot of stuff. Like we make our own salad dressings. We do all that. We don't.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I am super anti soybean oil. I'm super anti soybean oil for food consumption grade because not because I think it's bad for you, but because I think the soybean oil would be better used for biodiesel. I've talked about this at length on my own show. Like the whole ethanol thing has always been a fucking farce. Whenever they started kicking it off in 2005, I did a bunch of research on it and stuff, and like I've been trying to tell people since then, like it was a bad fucking idea. But
it's just because we have a surplus of corn. Like we have such a surplus of corn.
Well, you have a surplus of corn because they're paying for it.
Yeah,
they're
subsidizing corn.
Like it's a chicken and an egg thing. It's like you have it because they're paying for it.
Right. Corn was always like $2.50 a bushel on the Chicago Board of Trade. And then they started kicking off the whole ethanol thing. Corn runs up to $5 and now everybody's planting corn. And then they're building all these ethanol plants because you've got to have all these plants to handle all the corn. But then they build so many plants that now they need more corn. So now everybody's planting more corn. So then it's just this vicious cycle of, and then when the corn market, and then that in turn ran land prices up, ran equipment prices up. Everything in the agricultural side went up because of this inflated market that was created by a non-existent demand for ethanol. And corn-based ethanol is literally the least efficient form of ethanol on the fucking planet.
But Justin, it's capitalism at work.
You could buy sugarcane-based ethanol from South America and have it imported to the U.S. for cheaper than what you could make the corn-based ethanol here. But nobody gives a fuck about any of that. So then it runs land prices and everything up. And then fast forward 10 years, 15 years later, when they finally realize, oh, fuck, this whole ethanol thing is really kind of a bust and doesn't work. And then they just end all of the subsidies and everything that went along with it. And then everything, like the corn prices drop out back down to like $3. And all of these farmers have bought all this land and equipment based on $5 fucking corn prices. And now, then that manufactured this whole fucking agricultural catastrophe that, where a lot of farms were closing down and shit like that. And then the Biden administration comes back out and they're like, oh, we're going to start pushing for ethanol again to try to keep gas prices down because we're putting restrictions.
Because gas is $4 a gallon almost again.
We're not actually. But it's not actually because of Russia. It was because the Biden administration just completely depleted all of the oil reserves that have been built up for 20 fucking years.
And stopped drilling.
So then you got all that.
They stopped the drill permits,
No, we're producing just as much oil as we were under Trump. We're just selling it overseas.
And I'm just sitting over here for the last 20 fucking years saying, why don't we convert everything over to diesel and use biodiesel? Because it's so
that would make sense. We can't do anything that makes
sense. It's actually clean. It's actually
for some reason
clean.
Nobody listened to you. God.
The same reason we don't have nuclear power plants. They want to shut all those down.
Yeah, no,
because it's more efficient and it actually makes sense. That's
until like we're out of oil, like they're gonna make sure we use oil. You know what I mean? Like they're like, no, we don't get nuclear. We don't get, we don't get the fucking water car. We don't get none of that shit until we're out of oil. Then we can look into the other stuff. But until then, we have to make sure we sell all the oil.
It's just insane.
It's maddening.
Well, and the ethanol isn't actually a clean energy, like a clean burning energy. It still burns the same as fucking regular gasoline. The biodiesel, the soybean oil based biodiesel is a legitimate clean energy. Like it's virtually no emissions. Like
plus you get better gas mileage.
Yeah,
like,
everything
way better gas mileage. And
obviously, they're not interested in solutions. They just want to create new problems so they can keep bilking the fucking system.
Now, isn't ethanol bad eventually for the engines?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you run ethanol in your, like, if you run more than 10% ethanol in your engine for longer than like 8 years, you basically just destroy the whole fucking thing.
It's not going to be. But the problem is, it's still better than all of the batteries, all the electric cars. Like the electric cars are not good for the environment.
And even
they're not. Right, but the thing, it's the same thing with any of this. It's that what's shitty is that it's all so like we can't just do the technologies when they're ready or we want them. Everything has to be so pushed. So like with the oil versus the nuclear and all the shit with that, and then like, and this is what I hate about like the electric cars and shit is it becomes such like a political issue where it's like these things are like being pushed on people, and it's not that the concept of a car that runs on electricity is bad, but we're not, like you said, the batteries aren't there,
and we don't have the power
all these
grid.
people. Yeah, that.
Well, we don't have the power grid, but
don't
at the
understand
same
how they
time,
fucking work. Yeah,
we played the video a couple weeks ago. If you have to replace a battery, it's $20,000 to $50,000. It's not
right, but again, that's you're talking about fucking Teslas. Tesla sucks, dude.
No,
like,
no.
Like,
it wasn't Tesla. It was the $20,000 one was a Nissan.
Right. But fuck. Listen to me for a second. What I'm saying is, like I just said, battery technology isn't fucking there, man. There's all, dude. I've seriously been into like people who build their own electric cars for like decades, and it's fucking cool. But it's not something that, like, for some sort of mass adoption shit, you don't have to use lithium batteries. First off, it's not something you have to use.
They need to, so they can have child labor.
God damn it, Steve! One here, I can't even fucking have a conversation because you have to go and be autistic about fucking everything.
Let Dag finish his autistic thought, and then you can have your own autistic thought. Okay?
Okay, sorry.
Fuck.
Did you lose it, Dag?
No, it's fine. It's just this is just what frustrates me. It's just there's some things, and I'm not talking shit about you guys. There's very few people who I can have like a conversation about like an electric car without people going, but the Teslas freeze up, and like, yes, I'm not fucking talking about Tesla. Like I know. I think Teslas are stupid. I think that being pushed on people is fucking stupid. I don't, most people don't know how fucking, they don't know the limitation. They get an electric car. And, oh my God, I didn't know that it had a range. Like, well, what the fuck? Of course they have a fucking range, Every car has a fucking range. Even gas car, by the way. Though some guy the other day, he's like, yeah, man, if you go on a road trip with these things, you gotta plan it out. I'm like, yeah, dude, like when you have to like put gas in your car, like, yes, you have to know where a gas station is and fill it up. Like, yes. But anyhow, it's yeah, man, because there's shit like, dude, like I would fucking love for like I have like an old Subaru, and like I would love to do an electric conversion on it with AGM batteries, and it's something I can charge from a fucking solar panel. And I'm not trying to take it on road trips. I'm not trying to take it over 50 miles. It just be fucking fun. And there's a lot of security in that basically with something like that, you can charge it with gasoline through generator. You can charge it with diesel. You can charge it through wind or solar. But obviously that's not something that everybody's going to be driving around in. That would be a driver for me. It would be fun. So the concept of a vehicle that runs on electricity, and if we had or when we have better power solutions or storage, they're fucking amazing. Like the motors are amazing. There's a ton less fucking maintenance. Mm-hmm. They're all torque. They're really fucking cool. But yes, I fucking hate the fucking Teslas. I fucking hate that everything's so political on either side of the thing. Everyone either loves electric cars and knows nothing fucking about them, or everyone hates electric cars and knows nothing fucking about them, except the obvious things that, yes, like power grid issues, battery solutions, all that stuff. They're obvious things that it's just not. What I mean? So it just sucks. That's all. I hate discounting a technology. It's like nuclear is bad because Chernobyl happened. It's like no. Nuclear is actually really fucking cool, but there's a lot of ins and outs. Okay, I'm done being autistic. Thank you for tolerating.
There are actually a lot of like industrial uses and like mines and stuff like that utilize electric batteries. Where basically the way it works is
that's
when they
cool
fill the trucks up. It like basically goes on like a closed loop track for what it does. And so they fill it up with whatever they're putting in it. It goes and it dumps, and the motion, like the driving part of it, charges the battery. And then once it gets, and it's like not using any power to go there because it's mostly downhill. And then once it gets there, then they drive it back on the power that it built up on the way there. So it's like a closed loop system where it charges itself on the way there to drive itself back, and then it's just back and forth. They use no gas, no diesel, no nothing. They're not like like a lot of the big diesel equipment that they run at these like big mines and stuff. They just sit and idle all the time because it burns more gas to turn them off and turn them back on than it does to just let them idle literally forever. So like there's no idling, there's none of that stuff. And like there are actual solutions that work for this stuff, but like there's no interest in implementing any of that stuff like large
Yeah,
scale.
everything
seen the
becomes
new
political
Dodge?
and it's a pain. Oops, wrong one.
The new Dodge Rams that are the hybrid ones.
I will
I
not
fucking
drive
hate,
a
dude,
hybrid truck.
hybrid
No.
is the stupidest
No.
technology, dude. I hate hybrid.
No hybrid.
So
Hey,
stupid.
never mind.
Why put 2 drive systems in a car? It's so stupid. But it's for the fake green shit. Just like all that's why like the electric car movements, it's fake greenies, and it's like, no, stop. That's not good for the environment.
And
What you're
it's
doing is
least
not good.
optimized too, right? Because
Yeah.
I mean, you're having to accommodate for both. So I mean, the whole mechanism is having to account for both possibilities of you running fuel or electric. So
Right, yeah, and then it's more maintenance. Yeah, it's a big pain. Yeah, this
You know
is the
anything
story
about the
Justin was
bikes?
talking about.
About the battery bikes? I have a friend that just bought a couple of them.
I know people who love them just for scooting around. You know, 'cause you don't need a driver's license. So if you have a DUI, they're great. Yeah, this story
tractors,
that
right?
this is in Switzerland. I thought they were doing this in Australia somewhere too. But
I've
yeah,
seen-
basically, like
Yeah,
they
I've
fill
seen a
up at the
couple other
bottom.
places as well.
Yeah, they use the kinetic energy like a hybrid. These probably have some sort of charging like a hybrid actually, where they collect the energy from braking and charge the batteries on the way down the mountain, and then it charges it enough to drive them back up the mountain. Because it's not even just putting diesel in the trucks; it's getting the diesel to these remote sites. You know, they have to truck them in on trucks. You know, so it's a whole thing getting gasoline around. But yeah, shit like this is pretty fucking cool. But
That's
obviously,
what
it's
the
unique
Dodge.
situation.
That's what the new Dodges are doing. Is that
I
They
actually
use the regenerative braking.
I don't mind the
Something like that. I don't
electric.
know
Some of the like
exactly what it
electric
is.
like I've got electric chainsaw that I was using the other day. And
I love electric
honestly,
lawn equipment if it's feasible, if it makes sense. You know, it doesn't always. You know, dude, I grew up. My dad, when he had this small yard of this house he lived at, he got a fucking electric. It wasn't a battery powered lawnmower, but it was an electric lawnmower with a fucking extension cord that came off of it.
Oh god,
And
those old ones.
Yeah. But like, here's the thing. So like, the way that it would work, let's say you pushed it straight and you'd go
Those were great
you'd
until you
come
ran
back
over
the
the
other
cord.
direction. Well, exactly. You had to get a rhythm down. So you'd push it, but instead of turning the whole thing around, you'd click a button and the handle would flip over to the other side of the mower, and you'd walk around the other side and push it back. That way you weren't turning it around to run over the cord. So you start next to the house, the cord side by the house, and you work your way away from the house. And it was, never any motor work to do. We had to replace a switch on it once. But yeah, dude, like weed whackers, all that shit. If I can get away with an electric one, fuck yeah, dude. I have gas ones now because I have 6 acres. So I need
those
gas.
work great until you have your retard kid that runs over the cord.
That's a Darwin situation, like we talked about earlier.
I've got the battery powered weed eater, leaf blower, chainsaw, and then we've also got a, like you were talking about, like extension cord, plug it in chainsaw as well. They work fine. I got like some of the replacement batteries for it, and like the
batteries are cost more than the actual things sometimes. So
the replacement batteries aren't, they are cheaper, but they're not as good. Like the official battery that comes with it, that thing's a hoss. The replacement batteries, they'll do the job, but they got about
from the same company, or
they got about 2/3 the battery life. And like with the chainsaw, if I'm cutting through something good sized, I got to put the original battery on it. I can't use the replacement batteries. Like they just don't have the ass to get into something big. Like they'll cut small limbs and branches and stuff, but if I've got like when the tree fucking got hit by lightning and split in half, and I was having to actually cut some shit, I had to use the real battery. And then there were some parts that it wouldn't cut through at all. I had to borrow the gas powered from our neighbor.
Yeah, for my purpose, it's been really good because I just have a bunch of like smaller trees for the most part that I'm trying to get up and stuff like that. So it was really
gas and oil.
God, dude,
I also hate 2-cycle motors.
Yeah, see, I have a 2-cycle weed eater, and if the weed eaters were a little, I don't know if they've gotten better in the past few years, but the last I did try one for a little bit, the battery powered weed eater, and it just didn't have the strength to get through Alabama grass, I guess.
Yeah, it's like if you have like a 1/12 of an acre yard and just a couple little things to nip, like it's like, yeah, worth it. I actually got my first 2-cycle weed eater this last year. I had a 4-cycle for years, and I kept that thing alive for a long time, but I got a 2-cycle for price purposes, and I actually don't mind it. It's just the gas that's like a pain, but whatever. I have a dedicated gas can for it.
They do make it now where they have a like at Lowe's, at least whenever I went, they have pre-made, premix, yeah,
but that's
which isn't bad.
Yeah, it probably makes more sense, to be honest. But yeah, no, I like my 2-cycle. To be honest, now that I'm learning it might actually be a simpler engine, than the 4-cycle for when I do have to do maintenance on it. I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet.
From what I understand, my dad says they're easier to work on, but that's the trade off is every time you use it, you get to mix oil and gas.
Yeah, but it is powerful. I will say that, because they are supposed to be like way more powerful than the Force Pro. Yeah. And I'm doing more damage to the environment, so I'm happy. Well, what is the statistic? Isn't it like a 2-cycle like leaf blower is the equivalent of like 12 F-150s like idling or something, like at a time, with like the amount of like fucking greenhouse shit they spew out? Because the new truck, they've got all the thing I'm repairing on my wife's car tomorrow is the purge valve went out. It recycles all the gas fumes into the engine and shit. I gotta fucking replace that tomorrow because it's making our car not.
That sounds like some commie bullshit from environmentalists who don't want you to mow your grass. And just
it's the anti-leaf blower crew in California, dude. Because leaf blowers have been illegal in LA for like 20 years, but they won't enforce it because it's racist. Because who runs the leaf blowers? Am I right? Dude, I'm not even kidding. There was like protests and shit when they passed the law.
I love the way you delivered that though, Dag. You're like, well, who runs the leaf blowers? like a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. Oh, we have to ask ourselves. The people with the big wide hats. God.
That's amazing. Man, we've talked about some stupid shit on this show before, but that is full on retarded.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.